Hi, welcome back to Eat for a Week. Today we'll be making a chicken pilau. This is a dish from Trinidad. I can't claim creation for this. A friend of mine from Trinidad, Federico, actually taught myself and a bunch of friends how to make this last time he was up here visiting us. We're going to use a whole head of garlic. Just for the record, this is a clove of garlic. This is the thing that comes off of the head. Yeah, that big whole thing, use that. Large onion, chopped pretty finely. A bunch of green onions. Just chop off the fuzzy little root end. Get rid of that. And chop the onion up into small pieces. I think I neglected to mention this, but all the stuff you're cutting up should go all together in a big bowl. This is going to be the marinade for the chicken. Chop up a bunch of parsley. It's probably really more than is necessary. I probably only need about half of this, but I'm probably not going to use it before it goes bad. So I'm going to go ahead and use the whole thing. Chives, I'm just going to use some scissors and cut them right into the bowl because I think it's faster. Make sure you don't make the same mistake I just did, which was to use a bowl that's too small. Realized after I got all this stuff in there, there's no way the chicken's going to fit in there with it. Habanero pepper. They're hot. Very hot. Federico thought they were a different kind of pepper when we went shopping, and we ended up using 6. Not good. I use 1. Don't use the ribs or the seeds, because that's where those are even hotter than the flesh. And this you definitely want chopped up super small. And be sure to wash your hands really, really, really well when you're done chopping it up. Because if you touch your eyes or rub your nose or something, those oils will transfer and it will burn. I speak from experience. Don't do it. Wash your hands. Wash, wash, wash. If you're concerned about the spiciness of the peppers, go ahead and try maybe half of one. I don't care for super, super spicy food myself. How did I grow up in Arizona and I don't like the hot, spicy? I don't know. I'm a freak. 1 pepper makes it pleasingly hot, nice little just heat in the mouth, but it's not going to drive you to drink a gallon of water for 1 serving of this stuff. 3 tablespoons of white vinegar. About a teaspoon of Cajun seasoning. A couple of tablespoons of black pepper. A couple of teaspoons of chicken and garlic bouillon. If you're sensitive to MSG, you'll want to be careful about the bouillon you buy because it often has MSG. Read the labels. I'm sensitive to MSG. I'm not a label reader, except for things like that. 3 teaspoons of dry ginger. Mix that all up together. Doesn't look wet enough to me. More vinegar. You want to buy a big pack of chicken legs. About 10 or so. First you want to peel the skin off of all the chicken. This part's not so fun. You can look for skinless chicken legs. Otherwise, you'll need to peel the skin off yourself. Now comes the fun part. Now take your chicken leg, chop it in half. I'm a big wuss when it comes to this kind of thing. I'm afraid of chopping off my fingers, so use a rubber mallet. You don't want to use a hammer on your cleaver, because that could damage your cleaver, and that would suck. When you're done chopping up the chicken, you want to be sure and rinse it really well, because there can be really sharp bone shards in there, which will not be pleasant to find floating around in your pilau. If you don't have a cleaver or don't want to deal with cutting up chicken legs, you can always just leave them whole. Or if you wanted to, you could also just make it with like boneless chicken breast and thigh meat. The chicken is rinsed, goes into the marinade for 10 or 15 minutes. Be careful not to cut your finger on a sharp piece of bone. As always, wash your hands well after working with raw chicken. Give this a good mix, and just let that hang out. All you need for this one, the big pot. That's it. Put over medium-high heat. Put a 1/4 inch of vegetable oil in the bottom of the pan. Wait for that to get hot. Once the oil is hot, you want to add about 1.5 tablespoons of brown sugar. Stir this until the brown sugar starts to get melty. And don't splash hot oil on yourself. Brown sugar will not actually combine with the oil, just so you know. If it starts to smell a little burny, take it off the heat for a couple of minutes. Ooh, kind of like that. Once that's done, go ahead and dump in your chicken mixture. Stand back, because the vinegar fumes can give you a bit of a coughing fit. And return it to the heat. Don't worry if the brown sugar hardens on the bottom with the cold ingredients. As it heats back up, it'll loosen up again. See, the pot's pretty crowded, but you want to try and get some color on the chicken. It's not going to get crispy brown or anything like that, but it will start to look less raw, and that's what you're looking for. Less raw. At this point, you want to add enough water to cover it. That's what it looks like after you add the water. And then you want to add raw rice. Give that a good stir. And I just want to let it go for about 20 minutes. Stir once in a while just to make sure the rice isn't burning into the bottom. This is what it looks like after 20 minutes. Quarter cup of butter, about a third a cup of ketchup, and a couple of tablespoons of tomato paste. Get those incorporated. Needs more ketchup. And you get this stuff in there, it should look like this. You can see already it's reduced quite a bit. Add about another half cup of water. Put the heat at a pretty low temperature and let it reduce until it's pretty dry and gloppy looking. Well, it's pretty much reduced. Looks like that. Throw in now a 1 pound bag of frozen peas and carrots. No need to thaw them, just throw them in. They're small, they'll warm up. I've let it go for another 15 minutes or so, and I think we're ready to call this done. That's what we got. I should probably taste it for seasoning. Could use some salt. Remember, we haven't actually added any salt. There will be some in the Cajun seasoning and in the bouillon. I just put in about a teaspoon or so. Here's your final product. Thanks again. Enjoy.